by Miss the governor's wife. Is it there? Hey, hurry up, give it me because I'm basing the women are celebrating something this week. It's a week-long activity, so that's why I decided to talk about this.
I'll get the front page.
It's the front page I'm looking for.
Okay, let me get. Oh,
Let's go. It's time for Hello Ladies, our show on 94.5 FM Owerri. That's just about ladies, and of course you also know that you can't talk about ladies' issues or affairs without involving the men. Men are almost always present in the lives of women, so men are is it a sine qua non? They say women are a necessary evil. I think men, it should be the other way around. Talk about women without dragging the men along. You're welcome to Hello Ladies. My name is Joyce Unebu, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the program today. With I have here in the house Peculiar Anyim and Chizoba Okafor. Not forgetting Nat Elegonia, who's my technical advisor. Together, we thank you very much for joining us on Hello Ladies. And I think this happens to be the last edition of Hello Ladies for the month of November. December. Whoa. Today we are going to talk about domestic violence. We've talked about it before on this platform, but this week something special is happening. There's this this 16-day program that is tagged Activism Against Gender-Based Violence, GBV, which is going to span from November 25 to December 11. The activity is on. Women are gathering. In fact, yesterday, our own First Lady, Barrister Chioma wrote, yes, that's Barrister Chioma Ozodimma wrote a news talk on this same issue. So, you see, we and other governors' wives in the Nigeria to observe this week, this event, campaign against gender-based violence. So that's why, in line with that campaign, today I decided to talk about domestic violence. Domestic violence is simply defined as violent or aggressive behavior within the home, typically involving the violent abuse of a spouse or partner. Very simple, by the Oxford Dictionary, oxford.com, right, online dictionary. Yes, and that's just it. That's violence and involves partners. But you also ask, most times, generally, women are seen to be at the forefront of being abused ones, okay? But men also get abused. Are you surprised? Of course. Now, it can be difficult for victims of domestic violence to admit that they are being abused, especially when, and in fact, emotional and psychological abuse happen to be the worst kind of abuse. But most times, because they are not visible, psychological things are not usually visible except through the signs that are shown. Emotional things are not visible except through the signs as well. But the physical abuse, these are the ones that people are much more familiar with. Abuse is visible, whereas the emotional or psychological abuse is not visual, can be quite obvious. Now, we talk about who are liable to be abused, liable to abuse, domestic violence abuse. First of all, we have different kinds of abuse. You have psychological abuse and then physical abuse. Physical abuse involves the one who uses up a woman, beats her up and inflicts injuries on her body, her face, and a very serious thing. And because of their complexion, they're very fair. It's so easy to notice physical abuse. Even over here too, when you box a woman in the face, for instance, you hit her hard, she has swollen face, swollen eyes, and all of that. And that's physical. It's visible. You notice it. Okay, you can hit a woman, throw her on the way, she breaks an arm. It's visible. She goes on the street. These are different kinds of physical abuse. But then the emotional abuse, psychological abuse, these ones are not seen by the discerning eye, by the ordinary eyes. There are things that happen internally. You see a woman, she's smiling, she has this forced smile, but she is dying inside. A woman starved of sex, a woman starved of emotional support, a woman starved of a lot of, even though she doesn't complain, it's internal suffering. She suffers emotionally, she's heartbroken, and even silently. In this case, you're not physically abusing her, you're not beating her up. Maybe you're shunning her, putting her down, not regarding her, not respecting her, and all of that. Okay, as she notices, she feels disturbed emotion. That's the kind of emotional or psychology. Now we'll talk about to abuse, domestic violence, to these abuses. Under domestic violence, of course, you have physical abuse, emotional, psychological abuse. The people who are more prone to suffering abuse or suffering from domestic violence acts include, that's the victims now, are people with very poor self-image, people who put up with abusive behavior. Yes, there are people who put up with abusive behavior. Still stay. Well, I love him. See your mouth and love. You love who? He beats you up all the time. Every time you turn up with swollen faces, and you lie to your friends, you lie to your families, and you're there dying. I know of a lady, her family didn't know she was going through so much. It was when she was at the point of that she began to talk. She was battling cancer. And when you patient deserves to be loved, cared for deeply by either of the spouses, at least you have to be gentle with her, show her more love, to sustain her further. But this one, even on her dying bed, she was being abused, treated badly. She was struggling to go to the hospital on her own, yet they were living together as husband and wife. She never talked to her parents. And this is a woman, in fact, I don't know, she never told anybody until nothing could be done about the will. She couldn't even, she had a good job where she had initially put her husband's name. She couldn't change all of that. So when she passed on, her husband will still inherit all the money she made. You see, it's heartbreaking. It's really painful. So you see, women suffer, and men too. Up with abuse, you're there, he will change. You're hoping year in, year out, nothing happens, and you're just there going on. So there are also other kinds of other people who suffer from domestic violence abuse, people who have poor self-image, people who put up with abusive behavior, people who are economically and emotionally dependent on the abuser. The other time on this platform, we were talking about women who are dependent on the men, women who don't have an income, who don't earn any income, who are just housewives, and they stay there. Whatever the man chooses, he does to them, and they don't have much choice. Okay, then other people who suffer are likely to suffer, people who are uncertain of their needs, who don't even know what they need. People who have low self-esteem. We keep talking about self-esteem on this platform. People who have unrealistic belief that he can change the abuser. Have you met such women before? Don't worry. He smokes, but don't change. They have this belief that he will change, and maybe, of course, it can work with God. But these people saying this are not even people believers. They don't believe. So how on earth are these people going to change? How are you going to change them? You don't change human beings, mature adults who have completely formed. You don't change them. Only the power, Spirit of God. Okay? You see a full adult, a full male adult who are already decided on what path to trod, who have formed completely psychologically otherwise, and you are believing, you are kidding yourself that you're going to change him. That believe you're going to change him. He wouldn't do that to me. You see, it's unrealistic belief, very, very unrealistic. Other people include people who feel power. Of course, most times it's the women. Women are weaker vessels, physically weaker, so they're more prone to being abused. Well, if you've just joined us, I noticed some people are joining us now. I didn't really promote this on my social this is coming up today, but I see some people are joining us now from everywhere. So please welcome. Thank you so much. What we are talking about now is domestic violence. Domestic violence. We've already defined domestic violence to mean violent or aggressive behavior within the home, typically involving the violent abuse of a spouse or a people who are more prone to being abused. Generally, of course, the women, but men also do get abused in the family. Psychological abuse, we talked about that. We also talked about physical abuse. These are all forms of domestic violence. Okay, these are all forms of abuses that spouses, women go through, and these forms of abuses. We're having some internet issues. I don't know why. We are exploring those who are more prone, more likely to be abused. We've talked about the economic people who are not economically independent, people who have low self-esteem, who have unrealistic belief that the man or the woman will change. You see a full adult and you're still hoping, believing that you will change him. No way. And then people who are powerless to stop violence, and people who believe that jealousy is proof of love. To some extent, them. Now, women are generally the most frequent victims, I've mentioned that, and men the most frequent abusers. Does that make sense? Women are generally the most frequent victims, and men the most frequent abusers. The men abuse women more than the other way around. That is not to say that men also don't get abused. Of course, you have men who are in abusive relationships too, in abusive marriages. There are women, they suffer emotional and psychological abuse. You know, some men who don't talk much. But these are the kind of men that can suffer from this kind of abuse, domestic violence. You know, not physical. Physical is quite different. I mean, emotional and psychological. You know, men who are poor, they don't have money, men who's successful, men who have lost their jobs, okay, men who are sick. These are kinds of men. You notice that women abuse men, women's tongues, sharp-tongued women will tell you that you don't bring in money, you lost your job, you're too lazy. These things destroy the man's psyche. They affect them psychologically. So they also suffer. Men are also victims of domestic violence in this regard. Now, let's talk about characteristics of women who are victims of domestic violence. Do they have characteristics? How do you identify these women? These women abuse alcohol. They have seen relationships. They are beaten up. You see young men, maybe in their younger days, are dating. They dated people who abused them physically and otherwise. They are pregnant. They are poor and have limited support. These are the signs. You notice these women who are victims of domestic violence. They have partners who abuse alcohol or other substances. They have left their abusers. They have traditional beliefs that women should be submissive to men. Yes, I know the Bible, if you're a Christian, but there are women, there are cases, if your husband asks you to kill somebody, or maybe to abort your pregnancy, and you are a Christian and you believe it's wrong, it's a sin to do that, but you also know that the Bible says you should submit to your husband. Would you submit to him in this case? You see what I mean? In some cases, bordering on life or committing sin, and the Bible says it's better to obey God than man. God says do not kill, and the man wants you to kill. Will you kill? Mbano. You see what we mean? So if you hold on too tightly to this belief that a woman should be submissive to the man, then you are a candidate, an easy candidate for domestic violence, because you will stay there. Whatever he likes, he will do to you, and you will just bend your neck. He will be pressing on your back, in short, standing on your back, and you won't do anything because you're being submissive. You see, you're missing it. So be careful. And signs to show that you are under or in an abusive relationship. You are being abused. You are suffering from domestic violence. When we come back after this time out, we shall explore signs to show. There are lots of them. I was happy to get help from helpguide.com. is a site that talks about issues like that. Helpguide.com. Yeah, there are lots of signs that show that you are under or you are in an abusive relationship. We are going to explore them when we come back. I also read out your messages. There's so many of you online who have joined us. Thank you so much. And let me also inform you, we got supporters for this show. Yes, a company decided to buy into our show and advertise their products. We call them, they are sort of sponsors. We would also like you. It's a popular show. A lot of people listen to Hello Ladies, both from US, Vietnam. I have people from Vietnam, from UK, who all tune in to listen. And we have these company, Gold Links. Goldo. Oledo. Did you get that? Oledo, gold. This one is not good. So you see, Gold Links decided to buy into this show. They say it's a popular show for both ladies and men, and they know their market. And I'm asking you, if you really love this show, you love Joyce Nebu, you have to take a trip to Gold Links and buy something from them. They sell the very best gold ever. Let's go on a break. We'll come back. Called Gold Link. This is Gold Link. Gold Wise Link Nigeria Limited. Gold Wise Link Wisdom Gold. Yes, Gold Wise Link Nigeria Limited is the right place to visit for all your gold jewelry needs. Are you planning for your engagement or wedding? Or perhaps you are looking for a so place that my to online load, people wash, or raise fix it your so gold that they jewelry? listen.
If
So, then you have the appropriate place. Gold Wise Link Nigeria Limited is the right place for all your gold jewelry needs. We stock engagement and wedding rings, necklaces, wristwatches, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and sets of different kinds. We also mold, fix, and wash your old gold stock to make them as good as new. What is more, we provide you the platform to sell your gold. Gold Wise Link Nigeria Limited, the leading place in gold jewelry matters. We offer you exactly what you go to Dubai to get. Visit us today at Gold Wise Link Nigeria Limited, 33 Ekwema Crescent, Ikenebu, Owerri. Also at Shop 48, ShopRite, Owerri, as well as inside Everyday Supermarket, World Bank, Owerri. While you find our Goldsmith at number 6 Osuji Street, Owerri. For more inquiries, call us on 0703 531 6360, 0806 336 8822 and 0803 333 7999. Gold Wise Link Nigeria Limited, Wisdom Gold, Dubai in Owerri. Oh yes, Gold Wise Links Nigeria Limited, the very best in gold business. So take a trip. I know Chizoba has already taken down the number. She'll pay them a visit. And peculiar too, you have wedding plans. You need a gold ring, this engagement rings, this Christmas. Just take a trip down there. You get all kinds, any kind of gold ring. And for my friends watching from abroad, you'll be visiting Nigeria, right? Okay. When you come, take a trip to Gold Wise for your loved ones, for your mom, for your girlfriends, for your wives to be, and for that super event. You're welcome back to Hello Ladies here on 94.5 Orient FM. I really thank Gold Wise Links Nigeria Limited. Thank you so much for coming forward to support us on Hello Ladies, to sponsor this program. We're also asking other people who enjoy this every week, free of charge, to please do something in that respect. You can also buy into the show, just as Gold Wise Links has done. We would appreciate that a lot, and we'll give you a boost to your business. Welcome back. Now, before we went on break, I said we were going to talk about the signs that you are being abused, whether you're a man or a woman. If these signs appear in your life, then know it. Or if you notice these signs, you listen, you're a lady, right? You notice these signs, then something is wrong with your relationship. You're being abused. You are in an abusive relationship. The signs include: do you feel afraid of your partner most of the time? You're afraid. There are so many women who are always scared, terrified. You see a man, this is a man you have your most, intimate relationship with. and you are scared to air your views. You're scared to tell him what you think or what you feel. You are afraid. When you are afraid, then you are in a relationship that is abusive. So do you feel afraid of your partner much of the time? Do you avoid certain topics out of fear of annoying your partner, angering him? You are afraid to talk about something because you are scared he will be angry. Hey, imagine you are already suffering from emotional and psychological abuse. The effect of emotional and psychological abuse when fear is reigning your life, when fear is ruling your life, then it's a big problem. Do you feel that you always do the wrong things for your partner? Do you feel that you always do the wrong things for your partner? Do you think you do the wrong things? That is, every time something goes wrong, you feel it's your fault. If you're feeling that way, you're insecure, you're not sure whether you're happy or not, then check it out. You might well be in an abusive relationship. Do you believe you deserve the abuse you are getting? Do you know some people actually believe, well, I deserved it. You see a girl, he beat her to a pulp. You see her, don't worry, I actually deserved it. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve to be treated like an animal. Not even animals in civilized countries are treated like that. So don't say you deserve it. No, you do not. Please, don't let that enter your psyche. You do not believe to be treated like that, disrespectfully, beaten up and kicked. And you say you deserve. No, you don't deserve it. Please don't use that phrase. Now, do you feel that you are responsible for everything that goes wrong in that relationship? That it's all your fault? People who always, it's all my fault. No. If you feel that all the time, then check it. You might well be in an abusive relationship. You are scared. Okay. Does your partner humiliate you, or yell at you, criticizes you, and put you down? There are some mean people who humiliate the women and men in their lives. They yell at them. They criticize them all the time, even before other people, before family members. And then they put them down. You know, people who say, honey, what if we do it this way? He just looks at you. That way is not, that's putting you down. Your opinion is not an intelligent one as far as it's concerned. Your opinion doesn't count. Oh no. This is one I don't take. I cannot take this one. I don't like being disrespected, especially by people who should care about you. I think you can do anything but respect me. That's very important. So, does your partner humiliate or yell at you, criticizes you, and put you down? Does he treat you so badly that you are embarrassed for your friends or your family members to see? You see, maybe before your friends and family members, he talks to you, he talks down at you. Immature men in relationships, immature men and women in marriages. Why would a man, a full-grown man, responsible adult, treat your wife disrespectfully, especially in public? That's so terrible. That's absolutely unacceptable, honestly. So in your relationship, does he or she ignore or put down your opinions or accomplishments? Your opinion. I've given an example. What if we did it? Just glares at you and hisses and say, he will know. Hey, he will know. Jesus, the man is telling his wife this. Hey, and your wife is telling her husband this. And when what do you know? Hey, Jesus, that's bothering. That borders on cruelty. That's very bad. So does he see you as a property or a sex object? There are some people in their relationships, you're there to be used, for a baby making machine. That's all. Your feelings do not count. Many women complain about these kinds of men. Even the sexual activities, bam, 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 thank you, it's all over. You're destroying the world. You see, Oh no, why are these girls in the studio laughing? You're making me laugh too. And people online are laughing as well. Oh my God, Joyce, what did you say? No, but it's real, that's hypocrisy, pretense. That's what destroys marriages over here. You see a white woman, he says what the problem is. He hits at it. But over here, we pretend. A woman, I told you how a woman wrote to me on a show, one of my shows, said, Joyce, I am not happy in my relationship. That was what she wrote. I read her letter out. I used it on Reach Out, one of our shows where we read out people's complaints. She said she doesn't enjoy sex with her husband. That was what she said in her letter. Why? Do you ask? Yeah, she said, because he doesn't please her. That before she knows what's happening, the whole thing is over. Child, I felt sorry for her. I said, why don't you discuss with her? Talk to him. Tell him how you feel. You know what she said? When I said, tell him how you feel, you know what that lady said? I said, Joy, so I'm scared to tell him. If I tell him now, he will say I'm a shawo. He will say I have been doing it elsewhere. That's why he's not pleased. So many women are caged. She's not, you see what I mean by psychological abuse, emotional abuse. She's not happy. Whereas, sex is an important issue in marriage. Sex can destroy a marriage. Many people don't know, but it's real. When a woman is not happy, destruction don't they come like that to be that one who, if she's not getting no satisfaction, like that woman that wrote to me, next thing you know, she might be tempted to look outside. She might be tempted, and not everybody is strong to resist temptation. I'm sure you know now. You see what I mean? She can be tempted and she can fall. She's human. Why? How did it all start? Trace it. Because her husband was not pleasing her in bed, and because, again, the second one, she is terrified to discuss her innermost feelings with the man who should know her inside and outside. You see, that's the kind of marriages we're having here. Many people have. Many people are not happy. They are just there existing. They are dying. Go out, they won't go. And society will now come and cage them more. If they leave, they'll say, they're divorcee. Everybody is there pretending and they're not happy. So you see, if a man sees you only as a property, a sex object where he dumps his whatever and off he goes, then that's a big problem. That woman you are in an abusive relationship. If that's just what you've been going through on your life, you've got to do something about it. I'm not asking you, hear me, I beg you, don't go and say, Joy said I should. No, don't leave your husband though. Our people say, there's always a way. Get talking. Maybe talk to your priest, your pastor's wife. We pray about it and there will be a solution. Don't leave until you've done. Don't leave. Make some efforts. So, does he see you as a property or a sex object rather than as a person? This is very important. This is very crucial. Now, there's another one. Does your partner have a bad and unpredictable temper? This is terrible. Unpredictable. You don't know when he's angry. You don't know when he's happy. You don't know what you do. Oh my God. Some people are like, hello, hey. Honestly, you don't know what you will say. He will be angry. You don't know what you will do. He will not be happy. Do you know that some women like sitting on hot bricks? There are people in these kinds of relationships, very abusive. The man may not lift a hand to hit at them. Like this lady who wrote to me, who doesn't enjoy sleeping with her husband. She sees it as each time she doesn't look forward to it. She sees it as a heavy task. A task that she's been forced to. That kind of thing. There are people who have all kinds of problems. And unfortunately in this part of the world, we don't have people also equally taking care of these kinds of problems. Abroad, you have shrinks. You have psychologists, you have marriage counselors. Even here, whether marriage counselors exist, I don't know. They don't advertise, nobody knows. So people are just dying in silence. And that's not the way God made this life to be. God made this life to be enjoyed. God created everything and handed over to man. Enjoy, multiply, subdue. Enjoy your life. That's God. But all this, we over a brother who lives in US told me that in Africa that people are merely existing. We are not having the fullness of life that Christ came to win for us, from all ramifications, relationship wise, money wise, eating. Christ did everything for us. But many of us, anyway, let's continue. Does your partner have a bad and unpredictable temper? Remember, we are now exploring signs to show that you are in an abusive relationship. You are going through domestic violence. You are in a domestic violence setting. We'll talk about the solution, okay? Later on, of course. That's the last part. What can be done. Now, does your partner hurt you or threaten to hurt or kill you? There are people who do that. When they get angry, they say, I will kill you. There was one I once played on this program. Yes, I once played an excerpt. This is a Nigerian couple residing abroad. And I think what started it was the lady said she wanted to, she's a nurse and she wants to get a higher degree. But the man was opposed to it. And the girl, of course, she was making more money. Behind his back, she went and got admission into the university. And then she was checking that she told him all hell was let loose. And I played it here. Some of you, some fans of Hello Ladies, I'm sure you may have, you will remember it. I played it here and I aired, the audio on this platform. And the man was yelling, I will kill you. He was telling the girl, they were fighting. My mother doesn't do this. My mother doesn't answer back to her husband. And she said, I am not your mother. They were yelling. Oh my God, love gone wrong. Anyway, I hope they were able to fix back their problem. But see, if your man hurts and threatens to hurt or kill you, then this is a problem. Does your partner threaten to take your children away and kill them? That's another bad one. They threaten you. They threaten you because they know a woman's heart is with her kids always. So that's one way of holding you to ransom. They threaten to take your kids away. So if your relationship has gone to that point, then you are in an abusive relationship. Does your partner, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend threaten to commit suicide if you leave? This is blackmail. Many people use this to blackmail the women after abusing them for so long. When finally they decide, they summon up courage and decide to leave, and they tell them, if you leave, I'll commit suicide. Pure blackmail. If it's absolutely necessary for you to leave. Let him kill himself. Hey, don't let him kill himself. I didn't say that. Anyway, let's go on. Now, this is the big one, the bomb. Does your partner force you to have sex? Do you know, even though lawyers, I think I've taken time to engage a lawyer, a very intelligent lawyer in Lagos with this issue. Can a husband rape his wife? That's the $1 million question. If that kind of thing comes to court, anyway, who made the law? Who made the law? Said no be men. It's just like female genital mutilation. How did that idea come into being? Oh, was it men? Was it not men in the age of early man, who brought up laws and formed all kinds of laws, and many of them were against women, like this female genital. Why should a woman's whatever, sensitive organs or sensitive parts be cut or even be touched to make her don't feel more sensitive during the act? Then what did they do for the man's own? Nothing. No, they left it. Oh, you see now, I beg, another day. That's a matter for another day. Let's continue, Jare. So FGM is a bad thing too. I beg, I hope you know it is. The campaign against female genital mutilation is on, of course. Never be around where the girl child is being mutilated. Do something, raise alarm. There are even laws against that. Somebody can go to prison for doing that. I'm an ambassador too, of that campaign. UNICEF. We have all kinds of conferences. We go for conferences on this matter. So call me in this area. All the babies born around my neighborhood, I've talked to all of them, their mother. Don't press, don't just leave the girl child like that. God didn't give any instructions for us to touch the girl child. The girl child is beautiful the way God made her. So how dare you touch what God said is beautiful? Now we are continuing though. If your husband, your partner forces you to have sex, then you are in an abusive relationship according to this website, according to experts here. And then this is the last one. If your partner destroys your belongings, yes, you see such things, don't you? Even in movies, but they also happen in real life. He carries your bag, carries your dressing mirror, he breaks it. He just wants to punish you. Then, if he acts excessively jealous and possessive, that's a sign. It's bad. Yes, jealousy is part of being, when you love somebody, you're jealous, but not to this excessively jealous. Excessive jealousy is bad. And when somebody is excessively possessive, I don't like that. When you're too possessive, that's a problem. Don't relax and say, hey, love, love. Watch it though, love. He doesn't love you more. Why would he be? If any man smiles at you at home, he will nag you to death and even slap you. And you say it's love. It's not love. There's something wrong. It's excessive possessiveness. So watch it. Control. If your partner controls you, where you go to and what you do, that's bad. You are in prison. He tells you who to mix up with, who not to mix up with. But he can advise you. That your friend. Be careful of that. But not to give a law and order in the house and say, whoa, this person cannot. It's not. He's not a what do they call it? A landowner or a lord. Then, if he keeps you from seeing your friends and family, some women they suffer. There are stories of such women. The man banned her family members from coming to her house and her own friends. That's a prison yard. Imagine he selects for you the people you move around with. You're not free. You're not enjoying the freedom God, the free will, the freedom that God gave. That is the right of every human being. So that's a serious thing too. If he keeps you from seeing your friends and family, it's a big problem. If he limits your access to money, phone, or car, there are some mean partners. They don't want their wives to work. That's the way of controlling them, because they know when they work, they earn, they have earning power, and money is power. The woman with money can move out and rent a place. You see, I've said it on this platform before. Men hardly abuse independent women, financially independent women, all these powerful women. People like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. You want to abuse them, you can't. You need China. A formidable presence. So you see what I mean? So that's the thing. When he begins to limit your access to money, phone, begins to check your phone and seize it, and car, hides your car key, doesn't want you to go. That's not a good one. You're in an abusive relationship. Now, what to do? Now you have discovered the characteristics, you have discovered the signs to show you might be in an abusive relationship. What do you do to solve all of this, to make your life happier and better? First of all, convince yourself, believe this, it is not your fault that you are being abused. Many people have gotten it into their psyche, many women especially, they believe it's their fault. Please, it is not your fault. Because it is totally unacceptable to abuse a woman, physically or otherwise. Domestic violence it's evil. It can even lead to death. We didn't talk about the consequences. You won't be happy, it can lead to death, the children suffer, and you may die from it. That's the height of it. So first of all, please, it is not your fault that you're being abused, okay? The person abusing is an animal, because he's not a human being, a properly raised human being. He might well be a psychopath. So it is not your fault that he is a psychopath, that he is an animal, that he is a brute, that he is uncultured. It is not your fault. His mother may claim it's her fault, because she didn't raise him well, but it is not yours, please. Now, communicate. Communication is very important. In this case, I don't mean communicate with him. If you're the woman suffering abuse, tell someone, your parents, your family. That's why we have families and loved ones. Families forever. Family is the greatest gift God has given us. Family is the best. There must be somebody in your family you love, your sister, a big brother, your mom, your dad. Talk to somebody. Okay? Your family, your not friend, your best friend, remember? Or you go to the priest, your pastor. Confide. Open up. Talk. Because you may die there while being silent, while waiting for him to change. Then reach out. I'm talking about reaching out. It's related to communicating. Reach out to people, but people who are good people who love you, who have your interest at heart, people who won't go routing on you, people who won't go gossiping about your problems. Then counseling. Reach out to doctors. Counseling. Marriage counseling. Many churches have marriage counseling centers these days. You can reach out to them. Then get something to earn an income. This should have come second. The first one I have here is it's not your fault, okay? The second should have been get something to earn an income. I always say it. Do something. If you can plait hair, begin. Do not say, I'm poor, I didn't go to school. But there's something you can do well. There are lots of women who didn't go to school, but they can weave very well and they have earning power. You can begin small trade. Begin trading. Okay, you can set up a grocery store and just do something. Don't be idle. Don't depend on him completely, because he who pays, we said as this saying, who pays the piper dictates the tune. Okay, don't let anybody take the tune of your life. It's only God that can do that. Okay, so do something. When you're earning something, nobody can easily abuse you like that. When you're hardworking, when the problem is many of us are lazy, ladies. Many of us are lazy. Many of us feel when I'm marrying to be taken care of. Who will take care of you? You won't take care of yourself, You want somebody to come take care of you. You, with all your health, build everything. You have brain. You have all it takes. Okay, so do something to earn something. And finally, very important, most important of all, pray. Everybody has the ability to pray, to reach out to God. Thank God for God, though. At least God is always accessible. Can easily reach. I close my eyes and I can reach God. Not like one big politician, all these people who are very wealthy who can't reach. No, we can easily reach God, though. Dial God's number through Christ Jesus, which is the gateway, and have access to God. He will listen and he will help you. There are lots of people online. Chioma love and Chioma, good to see you. Thank you very much. And Martin Uzoma, thank you for watching. Madu Ogochukwu Gabriel, comrade, well done, you said to me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Chioma, Martin Uzoma, Madu Ogochukwu Gabriel are watching. Thank you so very much, everyone of you who joined us. Christopher Opara, thank you for joining us, for watching. Oti Chibuzo Daniel, thank you. And you say, aptly said, Ma. Jessica, thank you. From Widi, quite interesting, inspiring, and edifying topic. I must say, right on, Auntie Joyce, we are following. Thank you. Right on, this is an interesting topic. Ugushe, Stephen Chidebere. Thank you, everyone. We really have to go because our time is up. Don't forget the signs we explored today. And don't forget the most important thing of all, pray. God can always be reached. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Don't forget, at 4 o'clock, we shall join FRC in Abuja to relay the network news. I am out of here. My name is Joyce Unebu. Goodbye.